Welcome to the AI Powered Marketing Show, where we explore the intersection of artificial intelligence with cutting edge digital marketing strategy. I'm your host, Keith Bell, and today we have an industry powerhouse, Leslie Walsh. Leslie is the head of strategy at Episode 4, a cutting edge brand experience agency known for its innovative approach to creating unforgettable hits for its top brands. With over a decade of experience at top agencies like BBDO and 360i, Leslie has a proven track record of crafting strategies that drive results. But what really sets Leslie in Episode 4 apart is their use of the proprietary data set, RYA. It's a living, evolving collection of insights from over 60,000 people. This data set fuels their creative decisions, allowing them to predict audience preferences and create campaigns that truly resonate. Leslie has leveraged RYA to push the boundaries of what's possible in marketing, making her a true leader in the field. Stay tuned for an in-depth conversation with Leslie Walsh, where we'll explore how data and creativity combine to create marketing magic.
Welcome to the digital marketing revolution. This is the AI-powered marketing show, where the future of marketing is not just imagined, it's already here. Are you an entrepreneur, a digital marketer, or a tech enthusiast? Then you're in the right place. Every day, we explore the cutting-edge tools that help you manifest and monetize your expertise through the power of funnel hubs supercharged with artificial intelligence. Unlock the secrets of turning your expertise into a digital powerhouse. From actionable insights to transformative strategies, we've got you covered. Now, let's dive into the world where AI meets marketing, where ideas meet execution, and where you meet success. Your journey to marketing mastery starts here. Here's your host, Keith Bell, bringing the future of marketing to you today.
Hey, everybody. Welcome Leslie Walsh to the AI Powered Marketing Show. Welcome, Leslie. How are you? So
Hi,
we
I'm
were
very
just
good.
talking
Thanks, Keith.
about the flattening of the curve, and you got moved from New York down to Memphis. How was that? Now, Memphis is your hometown, you said?
It is. Not born and raised, but my family's from Memphis, and we moved here when I was 9 years old, and I've been here ever since. But then was up in New York for some time and did most of my career in advertising in New York, and then in 2020 decided to flatten the curve in
And
Memphis,
you're still
and here I
flattening
am.
the curve. So
Yes,
in
I am.
preparing for my interview, you've had a pretty diverse career. And I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about your journey into marketing and like what initially got you into marketing.
Absolutely. So I have to admit, I was not initially drawn to marketing or even advertising in the beginning. It wasn't until that I went to college at the University of Georgia, and there you have to pick your major, and that meant applying to a specific school within the college. So I decided, okay, I've got to figure this out. Marketing and advertising sounds fun. But marketing was a part of the business school. Advertising was a part of the journalism school, the Grady School there that's pretty popular. It seemed like the right decision was to go with marketing and business because that just felt like the more responsible choice. So I went there first, applied, got in, started my classes in the business school, was in marketing, accounting, economics, and I just wasn't having any fun. And I was really starting to regret that decision until a friend said, "Why don't you join my journalism advertising 101 class? It's kind of like marketing, but a little bit different." So I joined that class, and that was the first time that I was like, yes, this is something I'm actually inspired by and a class that I want to come back to. So that's exactly, how I made it here, is just sitting in a class with a friend who had invited me and decided this is worth changing my major for, and actually delaying my graduation because I was already a semester behind at that point. So I had to start over and get the right credits and the right major, and it was all worth
Now,
it.
you've had various roles in some pretty prestigious agencies like 360i and BBDO. How have these experiences shaped your approach to marketing strategy?
Well, BBDO is probably one of the most famous traditional advertising agencies out there. It's been around for some time, and it's where I really learned the ropes. There's one thing about learning about advertising in school and another in the real world. And it's where I found my role as a strategist. I started as an intern, and then I started to explore different roles. I was in account management in the beginning and quickly realized that strategy was much more my speed and where my strengths lay. So that is where I learned, just about advertising overall and how it really works in the real world, of course. And then kind of where I found my passion for strategy. 360i was known as a very smart digital agency. And so when I switched to 360i, I became much more of an expert in the digital space and really got a knack for helping clients navigate new digital platforms and unknown territories. For example, Oscar Mayer was a big client of mine at 360i, and we helped them get comfortable with building a dating app all around bacon. This is in 2015 when, Hinge and all the different apps were very popular. And we decided, hey, Oscar Mayer should make one of these too and get in on the buzz. And we did. And that was a really awesome experience and a very successful, actually, investment for Oscar Mayer in terms of, helping to drive their
So
business.
I got to ask, how did you incorporate bacon into dating? I mean, I love bacon, but I don't I'm not sure how I'd like meet someone to date because of bacon.
Well, a lot of people say that you find a mate on a shared passion point. So, looking for a potential date from the starting point of we both love bacon. That was the insight that sort of led us there. Is we just appeal to bacon lovers and unite them, and maybe you'll find the perfect mate in a bacon dating app. And then along the way, there were fun questions to sort of use as what type of bacon lover are you? Do you like it crispy? Do you like it thick? What flavor, maple, hickory smoked, fun things like that, that just served as an interesting way of starting the conversation, right? I am not on these dating apps. I'm happily married, but many of my friends who still are, one of the worst things is, what do you say? What's your pickup line? Like, how do you talk to people on these dating apps? You kind of run out of things to talk about. So we gave people, the starting point.
Gotta love bacon.
Bacon.
So, what
Yes.
motivated you to join episode 4, and like how has your role evolved over the past 6 years?
Yeah. So Mark Himmelsbach, he is one of the founders of Episode 4. He and I worked together at BBDO. He actually started digital strategy as a practice at BBDO. He was a mentor and eventually a boss of mine when he helped me transition from account management into digital strategy. So I've always looked up to him. When I was at 360i, after a couple of years, he reached out and said, hey, you know what? A friend and I are starting our own agency. We've all been at the big agencies for a long time. He had been at Ogilvy, BBDO, and others, as well as Teddy Lynn, our other founder. They decided, let's give it a go and make our own agency. And they reached out to me, and I said, absolutely. Of course, I would love to work with you again. So, having a great boss and mentor in your life is really, I think helpful to a lot of people. And for me, it led to a profitable career path
So
in the
where does
future.
episode 4, like where does that name come from?
Great question. So there are a couple of different ways that we explain that. Episode 4 is technically the fourth time that our two founders had worked together. So they'd worked at previous places, but they'd worked together 4 times, including episode 4 being the fourth. It's also episode 4 is um, in the world of film and even TV pilots, you kind of know if you have a hit after the fourth episode. That's when you get renewed. So because one of our things that we say that we do as an agency that separates us from others is that we make hits for brands. Episode 4 is all about knowing whether you have a hit or not. It's also probably, if you're a Star Wars fan, episode 4 is perhaps the biggest hit of the Star Wars series. So there's a couple of different ways that we kind of talk about it. Our process is also like a 4-step process, so we've got lots of different ways that makes sense for our name, but it's mainly because of Episode 4 is when you know you have a hit, and it's also the fourth time
Well,
our founders
that's
worked
definitely
together.
taking advantage of brand differentiation. That's for sure. So, as head of strategy
Yes.
at Episode 4, what are some of your key responsibilities and that you oversee on a day-to-day basis?
As head of strategy, I typically, do your normal strategy roles that you would expect at any agency, whether that's helping a brand, understand new audiences, do some custom research for them, dive into our own proprietary research for them, help them develop their own brand identities and positionings, help them launch campaigns, hit campaigns, and hit work into the world, or develop, media and comms plans for them. With the evolution of Episode 4 and our own proprietary data sets, we've also developed our own AI creative tool. We call it RYA. And so, as head of strategy, my role has evolved, my skill sets have evolved, and not just brand strategy and your sort of typical, roles and responsibilities there, but also to product strategy, where I'm leading the strategy and the vision that guides our own AI platform. Have learned the ropes of how to build a product team and manage the development of an AI product itself. So that's been very fun for me as a veteran agency person. Being able to sort of dip my toe into the water of product development has been a really great experience.
Hey, digital marketers, entrepreneurs, and tech enthusiasts. Ready to elevate your AI game? Check out the AI-powered marketer newsletter from Keith Bell, host of the AI-powered marketing show. The AI-powered marketer newsletter is your go-to resource, packed with actionable insights, cutting-edge tools, and the latest news in AI and digital marketing. Whether you're optimizing sales funnels, exploring new AI strategies, or staying ahead of industry trends, this newsletter has you covered. Don't miss out on the chance to supercharge your marketing efforts. Subscribe now. Just click the link in the show notes to sign up today, and remember, the future of marketing is here and it's powered by AI. See you in the newsletter.
So, Episode 4 emphasizes creating hits, and you've already talked about that, creating hits for brands. How do you define a hit in the contents of a brand experience?
Yeah. I mean, so a hit, as we said, it could be like Episode 4 of the Star Wars series. It's a hit in any genre. A show that someone's buzzing about, a song everyone recognizes, a movie everyone can quote, a video that everyone's seen and remembers. And so for brands, what we describe hits in the same way. They are twists on a genre that the target audience wants to actually watch or listen to or read or participate in, attend, all the actions that a brand wants a person to take with the content that they're putting out into the world. It's a hit if everyone remembers it, is talking about it, experiencing it, engaging with it, sharing it. That's kind of
Well,
what we define a
probably
hit.
I'm a little bit older than you, but probably the biggest hit that I can think of that kind of fits into that is the "Where's the Beef" campaign. I don't know if you're familiar with the old lady that would say,
Yes,
"Where's the beef?" And I'm 60 and I still remember that commercial. So, it's stuck with me, and the brand, stuck with me all through the years.
absolutely.
Um, you talked a little bit about RYA. Can you explain the role the proprietary data set RYA has in your creative process?
Yeah. I mean, data out in the creative process, the creative world right now, data-driven marketing is sort of the expectation. You should be using data in your process. That is just the bar, table stakes. The amount of data that you have at your fingertips, and any brand has at their fingertips, is really overwhelming. There's so much data out there. It's almost like brands are like, what data should I listen to? What do I pay attention to? So we decided to build our own data set intended to help our customers, our brands that we work with, really focus and zero in on the question that matters most to their audiences, which is, if you had extra time or money in your day, how would you spend it? What do you care about? What do you like? Um, our proprietary data can answer this question down to 1% of the US population. And so we use this as the starting point, as the foundation of what we should then make. Because if we know that you are a, let's say, golf enthusiast, then we could do something related to golf to attract you. If we know that you are a hip hop, fan, like which artist are you most into, and we could collaborate with them on something, or we could create a song that's inspired by a popular hip hop artist. We use this data as a way to start the creative process and justify why we are making what we're making, because it's the audience's desire. They said in our data set, this is what I actually want to spend my time and money on. So let's make something related
So
to
do
that.
you guys use, I guess this is a form of predictive analytics and like sentiment analysis, knowing what your customer wants and what drives their decision. Is that kind of the role of this RYA?
It is. That's what it started as. It is an omnibus survey of reported data, where we send out a survey across the U.S. and we ask people, what are you interested in spending your time or money on? If you had extra time or day, how would you spend it? And people answer that question in a variety of ways. It is structured data, so it's not sentiment analysis. It is people sort of using answers to our survey in a typical survey fashion, whether that's selecting from a list, or we also rate, like, if how interested are you in what you've selected. So if you said you like hip hop, are you very interested in that? Somewhat, not at all. It kind of has that 4-point scale. So that is, it's a large omnibus survey that has garnered up to 70,000 respondents, and we actually add 1,000 new respondents every single week. So it's always on, always polling people, and we use that data to sort of inform all of our creative
So what
decisions.
sets episode 4 apart from other project based brand experience agencies?
Yeah, I mean, we are, very happy, or we were very prideful about our process. We use data, a proprietary data set, to inform all of the creative. It's not like us just coming up with ideas that we think could be cool. We actually have data that can justify everything that we're presenting to our clients, and which gives them, a lot more confidence when they're trying to sell it up the chain. Another thing that we do is that we actually invite collaborators into our process. So people who are experts in any genre. For instance, if someone is a expert in building, custom cars, let's bring them into the process versus us trying to figure out how to do that ourselves. We really think that working with the experts in their desired field is the key to making really great work, rather than, a lot of agencies try to be the director, try to be the filmmaker, try to be the maker of anything. And we really invite collaborators into that process to make things along with us, so that we can sort of say, like, look, we're not the experts in everything, so we're going to bring the experts in. We also, built our own creative AI platform to help streamline the process from briefing all the way to, getting work into the world. And many agencies obviously are all grappling with, how do they work with AI? What are they doing? Is it going to steal everyone's jobs? Is it going to, eradicate us? We're embracing it, and we're really trying to come out of the gate with something that we think is helpful to our clients, and changes our industry, our company, by building a tool that can deliver the same creative ideas that we come up with every day in
So
seconds.
I think you'd probably agree with this. I try to use AI with my clients as a tool, as an augmentation tool to make their experience better and to inform them. I don't want it to replace me, and I'm sure you don't want it to replace you either. But um, I want to get back
Yeah.
to your RIA system. So talk a little bit more about, you already started to talk about the survey. Talk a little bit more about, like, how the idea came up, and then how you built this data set, and you guys do a survey. Is it every day or every week?
It's out every single day. It's always on, and then we just collect 1,000 respondents at one time, the responses, and upload it to our tool every week. So we could make it real time, because the survey is always out, polling respondents, but we just wait and get a sample of 1,000 and
So
upload it
how
at
do
one
you,
time.
like, get the people, like, how do you find the people that are respondents?
We work with a survey partner, Russell Research. So, they, put out the survey on their behalf. And they orchestrate everything for us. So we're not trying to say that we're the research company or that is our expertise. Again, we invite sort of the collaborators in to work with us. And that data is only available to us. It's ethical, it's unbiased, it's clean, it's everyone has been, their respondents are anonymized, all of that. And we make sure that it's not just bots answering our questions, it's real people answering our survey. And we collect that. We've been collecting it for the past almost decade now. So it's become, a really sizable sample that competes with a lot of consumer research firms out there, whether it be Simmons or MRI or GWI. Our sample set is pretty large in terms of how many people that we have surveyed. We can actually narrow it down to 1% of the population to get the answer of how do you want to spend your extra time or money. We can answer that for almost any audience in the
So
US.
how do you use, how does RYA play a role in your strategic decisions in terms of, building your campaigns and working with your clients?
It's the starting point. When RYA is a tool that is now able to help you, build an audience with many different demographic filters, whether you want to reach, Gen Z or millennials or a combination of different types of audiences, people who are employed full-time, work in specific industries, our parents have children, the ages of 2 or 4, all of those types of things that you would want to drill into to develop your audience, we can replicate in our platform. And then we can deliver up the insights about that audience, in terms of what genres are they passionate about? How do they want to spend their time and money? What actions are they taking? Whether that's they want to go on a trip, they want to go out to eat, they want to listen to music, they want to listen to a podcast. We can then tell you the type of podcast they want to listen to, or music that they want to listen to, or experience they want to attend, or restaurant they want to go to, with what we call genres. So we have over 300 genres that really add nuance and depth to anything related to that. So there's tons of video games out there. Are we talking simulation games, sandbox games, battle royale games, non-video games? There's still gamers out there that enjoy card games and poker and board games and all the likes. So we have all of that in our data set, and so we can tell you what anyone is into, and specifically what genre of that.
So how many questions do you guys ask? Like, how big is this survey? Because it's got to be pretty detailed.
It is. I mean, it's simple in that it really seeks to answer one question, which is, what do you want to spend your extra time or money on? But the way that we get at that answer is more detailed. And so, people rate different actions and genres. And so we have about, I think, something like 88 million data points that our tool is crunching at any time to put all these combinations together and give you the results so that you can understand and get a clear picture, a persona of, this is my audience, this is how they spend their time, this is what they like, this is, the thing that they would actually choose to do, so that our clients can, learn more about their audiences and really find ways to engage them in ways that their audiences want to be engaged. With sort of the onset of generative AI, we decided there's so much more that can be done around this data. So we also trained LLM, OpenAI, on how to use our data and come up with creative ideas around that. So it's always been the starting point for any brief that I've given our creative teams, and it's also the starting point for our AI platform to build.
Yeah, you just brought up an interesting point. I was just going to ask you about it. I already answered it, but how is AI playing a role in analyzing your data and giving you some feedback in terms of what you've learned? With that said, what are like some notable successes you've had at episode 4 utilizing RYA?
Yeah, I mean, so one thing that we love is that it can unlock some insights and ideas that are interesting and new and unique that our clients may not have realized before. So one of our very first clients, Charles Schwab, came to us and said, we have the opportunity to be the sponsor of the longest running PGA Tour tournament, the Colonial Invitational, which happens down in Fort Worth, Texas. The previous sponsor was giving up their rights to it, and it was up. So they asked us to help them, come in and rebrand it and think through all the elements that comes with, rebranding a sponsorship. And we took our data in RYA to help them understand how to engage golf fans in new and more interesting ways. So we used RYA, built it around golf fans as an audience, and it served up that golf fans are actually significantly more likely to be interested in classic cars than the general population. So with that insight alone, we were able to convince Charles Schwab to revitalize the way that they think about prizing as it relates to a golf tournament and deliver a new kind of trophy, which is a one-of-a-kind custom muscle car. So in 2019, which was the first year we did it, we developed a 73 Dodge Challenger that was completely, pimped out to be an amazing car, branded in Schwab blue and all the different sort of elements that made it, unique to the tournament, and was given away to the winner, which was Kevin Na that year. He happened to know that his caddy was a very big car enthusiast, so he actually flipped the keys to his caddy, and that moment was captured on film, and just the press went wild. So ever since then, this idea of giving away a muscle car as a prize at a golf tournament became a big hit, and something that the tournament became, really well known for. And so we've continued it every year. We've done a different type of car as the prize, and we never would have been able to get there or really help Schwab convince, everyone at the company that this was a good idea if we didn't have this data set to help them justify that decision and make that decision confidently. We've had many opportunities for brands to use our tool, to use our platform to unlock new opportunities and develop really amazing ideas. Another one is Invesco is a current client, and Invesco is a huge financial firm that has many financial products you can invest in. We're currently working with their QQQ ETF. They are a big sponsor of the NCAA, basketball tournament. And for many brands, particularly in the financial world, sports is often, the first place you go. Well, our data set was able to unlock the insight that high net worth investors, as well as financial advisors, share a common passion for food, specifically celebrity chefs. So we're currently in the midst of a series that is based on working with celebrity chefs to develop brand new recipes inspired by companies that are in that ETF. This was so successful that it then unlocked opportunities from a sponsorship perspective, where now Invesco has realized that is a niche sponsorship opportunity for them too, where it can become so much more than just a content series. And they are now the official sponsor of the New York Wine and Food Festival that is happening in October of this year, and will, carry on in Miami at the beginning of next. And so, looking at food and wine was never something that they had really thought about as a sponsorship opportunity. And RYA helped unlock that as an opportunity and a way to stand out.
Yeah, one of the things that I try to instill in my clients is knowing as much as they can about, their end user, their audience. And it seems like you guys have taken this and turbocharged it. I would have never thought that golfers would have that relationship with custom cars and classic cars. So that's incredible. How does the fact that you're continuously updating this data set, how does that enhance the relevance of your campaigns?
Well, people are always changing in terms of what they're interested in, what they're engaging with, what they actually care about right now. So the fact that we're updating that on a constant basis, 6 months ago, golf fans were really into cars. That is a truth that has lasted over time. But if I were to run the data right now, cars will probably still be in the top 10, but something else may be in the number one spot. So, just understanding kind of how your desired audience is thinking and feeling and what they want and like right now is very impactful to a brand in terms of how they can develop things to engage that audience. We also, in our current AI tool, we're working with Perplexity to pull in, live trend data around, what's happening in this space. So, that's not our proprietary data. That's obviously third-party data that's available to anybody. But it's kind of nice to have it all in one place where you can see like proprietary data that tells me that my audience loves this particular thing, whether that's golf. And here's what's trending in golf right now. Those are two really interesting inputs to see together at the same time, and for a generative AI model to develop creative
I have to
ideas around.
share a interesting Perplexity story with you. So as I was preparing for your
Yeah.
interview, Perplexity confused RYA with the Royal Yachting Association. It said that you were an avid member of the
Ah,
Royal Yachting Association. So AI does make mistakes, but I knew what Raya was because of our conversations. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Um, in your opinion, what's the future of data-driven marketing look like, and how do you think it's going to evolve over the next 10, 20 years?
yeah. I mean, data-driven marketing is the expectation. It is, table stakes right now. It is, driving everything that we do as marketers. And it's also driving AI. Every industry, every vertical is being completely transformed by AI, for better or for worse. But data is always going to be key. Organizations are expected to implement AI into their own processes internally as well as their external communications. It can help people make decisions faster, make work and put out work into the world a whole lot faster. But at the core, data is going to be what makes or breaks those things. Right now, the key to a good experience is the unique, relevant, unbiased, ethically sourced, quality training data that's driving not only data-driven marketing, but the future of AI.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things about my show is that I want to look at AI as, from a holistic approach, like, how can it help us to do our jobs better as marketers? And because just like anything else, when it first came out, there was a ton of fear. I'm going to lose my job. There's going to be a robot at my desk. But I'm learning about all these really cool ways that data has been used. And I think did you listen to my Andrew Pearson episode where they're using
Yes,
it in
yes, I
the
did.
gambling industry? And it's just amazing. So I continue to be impressed with what it does. So in what ways has the Riot data set given episode 4 a competitive edge? Like how has it given you a competitive edge against your competitors?
Yeah. I mean, watching our industry grapple with all that AI has changed and will continue to change really made us take a hard look at the value that episode 4 can deliver and how we can succeed in this rapidly changing space. So we realized we have a data set that is unique and proprietary to us, and no one else has that data. We have made a lot of really cool work and put that work out into the world that we know has worked for our clients and that people like. We call those hits. And instead of wondering, hey, what might happen to our agency? Are we going to be, are our jobs going to be taken by AI? We saw this as an opportunity to lead through a period of massive change and build our own. So rather than being afraid of it, we decided to jump in with 2 feet, and we've built and trained our very own AI platform that can deliver, RYA stands for radical yet acceptable content and experiences for any audience at the touch of the button. And to your point, sure, that could scare some people. Why will my job be needed if a AI tool can do it for me? We do not see this as a replacement, but rather as an augmentation tool. It allows creatives to do what they want to do most, which is craft, right? This is a great place. Our platform can help you get to a great starting point to, not just give you a thought starter, but to give you a pretty well-baked idea that then a creative who has been in this industry for years can continue to craft and shape and hone, because that human touch is always necessary. As a strategist, I can, crunch tons and tons of data in a matter of seconds using our tool, rather than going out and interviewing a bunch of people and doing a ton of desk research and sorting through other third-party sources to get to the insights that really matter. So it's just helping us all do our jobs better and, cutting back on time and wasted, inefficient processes. So we think that that is what has set us apart, is that we're not only, diving in, but developing a tool and selling that tool to our customers to help them save money in their
Well,
own
going back to
organization.
your example with Charles Schwab and the PGA, how hard do you think it would have been for you pre-AI to make that leap to determine the relationship between the golf industry and classic cars?
Yeah, I mean, in that particular instance, AI was not a part of the process yet, because that was in 2019. We had the data, and the data was extremely helpful and helped us sell in the idea that our creative teams came up with on their own without AI. It wasn't until 2023, 2024, the past 2 years, that we've actually added AI into the process. But the data has always been the
Okay,
foundation.
great. Well, I'm just totally blown away. The whole concept of RYA, and I just think it's an incredibly unique way to use data. And I'm finding more and more that digital marketing it's data driven. If you're not looking at the data,
Yes.
you're not doing what you need to be doing. So I want to let you have the last couple minutes here, just to, if there's anything you want to say about your company and what you do, to kind of, give you the last word here before we wrap up.
Sure. I mean, episode 4, is a company that was founded on trying to connect with customers by creating experiences and content that they actually care about. We don't like to say that we make ads. We make things that people seek out and want to engage with, content, experiences. And being able to take that philosophy, that approach to the way that we come up with, ideas for our own clients, and train an AI model on how to replicate that process, has been not only an amazing sort of learning experience, but a revolutionary way of thinking about how agencies and AI can work together to provide better content and experiences for end customers.
Wonderful. Well, I just want to thank you for coming on the show today. You have been a phenomenal guest, and I've learned so much. And I just want to thank you for being here. And hopefully we get to talk to you again, and we'll see how RYA is doing 5 years from now.
Absolutely. Thank you, Keith, for inviting me. I was happy to
Thank you.
be on your show.
Thank you for tuning in to the AI Powered Marketing Show, hosted by yours truly, Keith Bell. We hope you found today's episode insightful and full of actionable tips to power up your marketing strategies with AI. Don't forget to visit the website at funnelosophy.com. There you'll find links to our podcast website, as well as a subscription link to the AI Powered Marketer newsletter. Here on our newsletter, you can stay ahead of the curve with the latest trends, tools, and tips delivered straight to your inbox. We'd love to connect with you on social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Join our community of like-minded marketers. Come on by and say hello. Get behind the scenes content, join the conversation, and never miss an update. Until next time, keep innovating, keep iterating, and stay ahead of the curve with the power of AI in your digital marketing efforts. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the AI Powered Marketing Show. Take care.